I may wear these all podcast. Beautiful. I feel like a beautiful, pretty princess right now. Feel pretty good about it. So how does it feel to have a robotic arm? I've always been curious about that.
It's weird at first. Honestly, at first, it's like your arm fell asleep, and it's like you're having to get used to that again.
Interesting.
So like whenever like you take a nap and you fall asleep, your arm falls asleep,
Yeah.
and then like you get up, you have to like get used to like kind of touching things again until the blood flow comes back in. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that,
That's very weird.
except that it lasts for like a few days.
Also very weird.
Yeah,
Okay. You did your research on this role, didn't you?
sure.
No, you're BSing me. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a BSer. He BS'd me.
Sorry.
I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Not a Safe Place podcast. It is me, Princess Leia, beautiful as ever. Do you like my buns? You like my buns?
Got to zoom in on that. Look how intricate I made those buns.
Bun hair. I got bun hair. And then the wonderful, the angry, the child killer.
Anakin Skywalker. Threw me for a loop there.
Skywalker.
Listen, we all have a past, okay?
Okay. You know what? I want to start off by talking about generational sin. I haven't killed any kids, Dad. Broke that generational curse, by the way.
You have ruined some kids' lives, though. Which is debatably worse. I just put them out of their misery before they became susceptible to my problems.
You know what? How dare you? How dare you?
Mm-hmm. Your mother was just the same.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes,
Actually,
sir.
no, I'm lying. Your mother was a queen. I loved her so much.
Oh, okay.
But then she had to go horsing around with Obi-Wan. I'll never forget that.
Did you just call my mom a horse?
I didn't, but I guess
I
yeah.
can't believe it. Well, happy May the 4th, everybody.
Happy May the 4th.
Happy May the 4th. So we're gonna have to do our brain itches tonight, but we're gonna do them in character.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your brain itch there, Mr. Anakin? I swear if you say younglings.
Guess I gotta think of something else.
Yes, please.
No, my brain itch is see, this is something that I've always believed wholeheartedly, and I think that we all should aspire to.
Okay.
In order to maintain a healthy relationship with your loved one, specifically like with your spouse,
Okay.
is that if it, like so, this is going to probably scratch at some people, and it's gonna offend them a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But this is not a safe place.
It's not a safe place. Talking about unsafe things in a safe way.
If you are like for instance, if
I
you're
think we need to change that.
what?
Talking about unsafe things in a constructive way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I'm with it.
We're
We're talking about
need
unsafe things in a constructive way.
We need a gavel so when we make decisions like this, we can just hit something. But for the moment, I'll just
Booyah.
hear ye. From now on, talking about unsafe things in a constructive way.
Perfect.
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 All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Anakin.
You're good, man.
Please don't force choke me like you did, Mom.
This is your first warning.
Whoa! First warning.
Yes. So let's say that I go to hang out one-on-one with a girl,
Okay.
and my wife slash girlfriend slash fiance is not there.
Okay.
That is unacceptable.
Of course.
And vice versa. If
Yes.
she is going and hanging out with a dude and I am not there, it's
Okay.
unacceptable.
Of course.
So why was my best friend, basically my brother, hanging out with my wife whenever I wasn't there.
Dang, name drop him right now. Name him. Drop him. Name drop him.
I'm coming after you, Obi-Wan. I'm sick and tired of your crap. Sick and tired of this, man. And meanwhile, you're trying to get me to go and spy on the Chancellor. I'm already stressed out enough with you going and blabbing to my chick while I'm not there. I'm sick and tired of this, dude. Next time I see you, it's on the spot.
Whoa.
Don't even think about lecturing me.
Don't you dare. You're not lecturing me. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, man. I got a little heated there, but
Okay. Yes, sir.
it's
Some of the
been really
chairs,
bugging me
some of the
lately.
chairs behind the camera started moving around a little. I was getting a little worried.
And I kept going. The building was gonna come down.
Uh, nice. Okay. All right. Well, hey, I mean that is definitely a brain itch, for sure. That's a definite one.
Gets old, man.
I would say.
I trust 2 people in my life,
Uh-huh.
and I can't trust either of them anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I get
Some
it.
might say
One
that.
of them's your mom. One of them is your bodyguard or whatever. But guess what? They're both snakes.
Whoa. Okay. Some might say that he even turned her against you.
Yeah.
Some might say, right?
Mhm. No, I've already
Um,
pieced that together. It's getting old, man.
This is like right before you go to Mustafar. Like you're like you already like I know what's going
Yeah.
on. This is like the day after the younglings.
No, I talk.
Oh, that's it. That's the name of this podcast. Day after the younglings.
Oh man.
That's gonna be so bad. We're probably not gonna name it that. That'd be terrible.
It's not a bad one.
It's not a bad. No, it's not. It's not a. It's
I
not a
like
bad
it a
name.
lot,
but-
to be honest.
Day after the younglings. All right, we're interviewing Anakin Skywalker right after the Jedi Temple incident. Tell me, Anakin. I'm kidding. I'm gonna stop right there.
I was prepared to answer that question.
My brain itch is angry fathers.
Whatever.
Whatever, dude. Okay. Angry fathers that continue to keep stepping on my rebellion.
I got a simple solution. Don't rebel. You could be safe in our house if you just chill out.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, do you understand what
No.
I have done for you?
No,
I have brought peace.
no, you haven't.
I have brought freedom,
You didn't.
justice,
I don't know about
and
that.
security to
Definitely
my new
not.
empire. And it's not just mine, it's ours. You
Ours.
just come with me.
No. But okay. But no.
And you know, with an attitude like this coming from a kid, you wonder why I just keep on stepping all over your rebellion.
Wow. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. We're gonna break character.
Yeah. Okay.
You're kidding. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So, naturally the debate's gonna happen, and I think it's something I don't know about debate, but the question's gonna come up. Someone's gonna email us, so I thought we should just go ahead and jump the gun here and maybe talk about it. Favorite Star Wars, and then we'll debate about the worst one. But favorite Star Wars movie.
Dude, I've always been a Revenge of the Sith guy.
Revenge of the Sith.
Always have.
What about Revenge of the Sith? Why is that like the one for you?
So and I mean, the one movie that's referred to in like as an example of this context is Empire. Where it's like they're not afraid to have a bad ending, and so that's something I always like in movies, similar to like Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
Like it ended in a total loss, and I like that. And Revenge of the Sith took it in such a way that it wasn't just like, oh, like the team lost, or oh, the main character lost. It was like, no, the galaxy lost, and plus also, I mean, I mean, obviously, I grew up just like a huge Anakin fan. Like, I really like his story because, I mean, so many people, like, whenever the prequels came out, like, just crapped on him so hard. But it's
Yeah.
like I don't think like people like legit just didn't have enough grace to look at him and say like he came from a terrible situation. He was born basically a
Yeah.
slave.
He was born into slavery.
He
That's a
had
fact.
no father,
Right.
and he was taken away from his mother whenever he was like 10 years old. And the next time
Mm.
he saw her, she died in his arms. And so it's like
Yeah.
people are all like, oh, like he's just such an angry teenager. It's like he's like a traumatized, like highly traumatized teenager,
Yeah.
and meanwhile he has the responsibility of suppressing his emotions.
Hmm. They were. Oh man, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. Okay.
And
All right.
then basically, Revenge of the Sith is he couldn't bottle it up anymore.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
There's just so
There's a
like I
lot
get it,
there.
like it's like it's a storyline, but it's like there's so many branches of it.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a culmination of a lot of things. Um, what's really interesting is when I was a little kid, I watched all the Star Wars movies, and I remember like after they were over, like like how you like after you go to a really cool concert, like after it's like that sadness after, and you're like, dang, like
Yeah.
wish I could live in that moment again. That's how it felt with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I wish I could live in that moment again, and just watch it again. And
It makes a lot of sense because so many people, like even whenever the original trilogy came out, like they kept going back to the theater to watch what they had just watched.
right,
And I believe it was specifically for that. They're trying to like just get back into that moment. And plus, I mean, like it's basically space cowboys.
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
how like this is something we've never seen before. It's
Yep.
so cool.
Yeah. And I remember after I watched it, I was talking to my parents, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, I don't know what it was. I was just talking to him about Star Wars, and I was like, yeah, I see myself as Anakin, and they're like, all right, main
Like, oh
protagonist, okay,
crap.
whatever. And that's how they didn't take like, are you gonna kill us? Like it was just
Right.
more of like, okay, main protagonist kind of guy. And I'm like, no, like like when I was a kid, I related to Anakin because of his anger.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I get it. I understand that. I remember I even told my parents that too. I was like I relate to him because he's angry just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't angry for any reason, you know what I mean? I just
Just
that was
yeah.
my emotion. That was my go-to emotion. And I just remember watching that and going, "Oh, I understand Anakin." Like that almost that feeling of I'm trying to prove myself, but no one's paying attention to me, and every time someone does pay attention, I did something wrong. I'm tired of this. And it's very interesting. But I you know what? I can't debate you on that. I loved episode 3. I loved it. I thought it looked spectacular. Not Star sorry. I was going to talk about Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which we'll talk about that in a little bit
Oh,
cuz that one's
dude, yeah.
that's fire, dude. Star Wars: Clone Wars is fire. But episode 2 also was probably it's second for me.
Episode 2 was very good.
And it's I don't have anything deep to say about episode 2 other than the reason why I like it is because on episode 2 in the Coliseum on Lego Star Wars was
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite missions.
That's fair.
You
Yeah.
just walked around and just destroyed a bunch of droids. Like, dude, yeah, man. That was a lot of fun for me. And I remember just like when I played Lego Star Wars after, but when I watched I watched Star Wars Episode 2. I thought it was super cool. I thought the bounty hunter was
Jango
sick.
Fett.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, he's so cool.
dude. Literally to this day, I'm like, I really wish he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like I wish he was cool. But
He
yeah,
went down fighting, man.
he did. Shout out. But then I went and played on Lego Star Wars, and I remember like I was like, I have to get the bounty hunter character, right?
Mm.
And then I would just go play that mission and just destroy droids. And there's like another one in the complete saga where I would go to Mos Eisley, and there's this one mission you could drive around in like a speeder, and I loved it. You had to like go unlock it or like some special thing you had to do.
Right.
And I used to just drive it around and be like, man, I wish Star Wars was open world. And then they gave us an open world Star Wars. the most recent one. You
Mhm.
played it,
I have not played it yet.
dude.
Yeah.
You have to play it. It's
Honestly,
so
that's one
much
of my
fun.
next purchases
It's and
game-wise.
it's totally worth it.
Mhm.
After you play Days Gone,
Yeah.
you have to play Days Gone first.
After I play Last of Us 2.
Oh, dude, are you just not playing games?
Not lately. Dude, I've been reading a lot. I know. It's such a nerd thing to do, but we're here. Um, no, I'll play it.
You know what's better than reading?
Video games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing a story that you can directly influence.
Honestly, man, and this is like off topic from the theme of the episode, obviously. It's probably gonna annoy some people out in the crowd. Honestly, I wanna hear y'all complain about it. Just
Not a
so
safe place pod at gmail.com.
yeah, straight up. I want to hear y'all complain about it. I want y'all to try to convince me otherwise. Tell me that there's something better coming along because Last of Us 2 is just so freaking boring. Like it was very like it was I'm trying to figure out like it I'm not gonna say fast paced, but like it got like real serious like kind
Right.
of quick, and then ever since then it's just been like kind of low. Like yeah, like I've hit like a couple of high points or whatever, but like even like not high points, but just like high energy points.
Right.
And it's just I don't know, man. Like it's not as captivating as the first one was. This one it's just like they're trying too hard. Like I'm spending too much time in Seattle, man. Like this is getting annoying.
Hmm.
And like
I
what
haven't played it, so
well, yeah, I mean basically I'm just in a town. I'm just like just trying to like go around the whole town and just like identify every place, almost like a puzzle to try to get out of there, which might seem fun, but like the last 3 times that I've played it for like 3 hours straight, and I'm still in there. And whenever I first got there, it's Seattle day one. Like, so I gotta stay in this area for hours and hours more. It's ridiculous.
the thing that I don't like about Days Gone is the fact that it isn't open world. Like,
That's fair.
okay, it's a story game, gotcha. But give me that open world. Give
Hmm.
me the replayability. Not just, well, if you want to replay it, you have to play through the story again. No, 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 no. Don't do that to me. Let me go explore.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my frustration with it. Days Gone, you can explore, baby. Run around, man. So much fun. There's a lot to do. There's genuinely a lot to do.
So in Days Gone, you can do that.
You can.
Oh, okay.
So the interesting thing about this, and this is what I enjoy about this, it is a open world, but there are certain parts of the map that are gated by you progressing the story.
That makes sense.
So like, there's a whole other side of the map that you don't get access to until you progress a certain part in the story. But I love that because I think the progression of the story, at least the way that I played the game, it felt very much like I kind of explored a majority of what was going on that side of the map as I was progressing the story and doing some side quests and doing, some certain things. And then right when I kind of got to, okay, I've kind of explored a lot of this, I need something else to happen. And then I hit that part of the mission and it was like, all right, buddy, let's roll. I'm like, go to the other side. And the trek over was so much fun. Like, I thought Days Gone was such a well put together game. There's a love interest in the game, so it makes you feel for the character. They do
Right.
such a good job portraying his like yearning to get back to his love interest. And
It's not a gay love interest, is it?
no,
All right.
it's a
Another
female, I
point over
promise.
Last of Us.
Yeah. I think there are two. There is a gay person in the game, but it's not overplayed. It's just
That's
like,
good.
oh, you're a lesbian.
Last of Us 2 is
Good.
overplaying the
Or not
crap
good,
out of
but
it.
okay.
Yeah.
She's yeah. It's not. I didn't mean to say good, but it was like, oh, you're a lesbian. Okay, well, you didn't have to tell me that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
kind of picked up on it, right?
Just got a couple PC points right there.
Yeah. Woohoo. But the one thing, man, Days Gone, it ends in a little bit of a cliffhanger, and they haven't made a second one.
You know, if they're planning to.
They scrapped it.
Dude, that's something that bugs me so much is whenever they scrap projects that end on cliffhangers.
It wasn't well received.
Yeah, and that so like it's annoying because like I'm one person, so with projects like that, it's like I can't just go and call them up and be like, I need you to continue doing this. They're gonna say, well, sorry, or they might just hang up. But like I
You know
can't
what?
stand
That's what we're
whatever.
gonna do. Next
Hmm.
podcast, let's call in to Days Gone and be like, hey, you know what? No, we're not doing that.
Right.
You got to play the game.
Yeah.
Once you beat the
Yeah. I
game,
need to
then we
know
will.
what. Yeah, I need to know what we're talking about
Yep.
first.
Yep.
But like,
Once we beat the game, then we'll call in.
you know that I've been on this Harry Potter kick lately. That's what I've been reading. I've been reading through the series. Almost done, by the way. I have like less than
Impressive.
300 pages to
What are your
go.
thoughts?
Oh, dude. So I read a book and then I watch the movie right
Oh,
after.
interesting.
And ever since the third book slash movie, Prisoner of Azkaban,
Yeah.
like in that was the first time where I was like, oh, this is like quite different from the book. Like the movie's quite different from the book. Like
Interesting.
the first two, honestly, like yeah, there was like a few scenes that were left out and all that, but for the most part, everything was like pretty on track.
Mm.
Um, but ever since then, like every book, like it's gotten so like every movie is like almost more disappointing
Oh
than
man.
which is weird because like I've always loved the Harry Potter movies.
Wow.
And now and it's not that I don't, but it's like yeah, the books are way better, like way better.
Interesting.
There's
Okay.
so much more story. I mean, one of the books is like 870 pages, and it's
No.
and
No thanks.
the Deathly Hallows is the only one they made into two movies, and that's like it's less than that. It's like 760 pages. That's the one I'm reading now,
Mm.
and I mean,
Is that the last book?
yeah, that's the last one.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm almost done,
Wow. And then you'll
but
finally play games again.
yeah, supposedly. I've
Oh,
ordered some new books,
dang.
but
Oh my days.
once I'm finished with this series, just because
Oh
like
my days.
it's 7 books of one story, so it's like like I can't just stop in the middle of this. Once I'm done with this, I'll be much more likely to like chill out on it because I don't feel such an obligation to go and finish it. I'm real bad about stopping in the middle of series, including TV shows and stuff. But
Hmm.
the thing is so like they made some like Harry Potter spin-off movies, the Fantastic Beasts movies,
Oh yeah.
which is it takes place back in like the 1920s when Dumbledore is like real young and everything. And
Yep.
they have 3 of them. In the last one, like so I guess spoiler or whatever. No, I'm not spoiling like the Fantastic Beast movies, but like, you know, if you haven't read you can't even see this if you've seen like if you just watch the movies of Harry Potter, it
Right.
only comes in if you've read it. But the villain of the Fantastic Beast movies, Grindelwald, apparently it's like written like in their history books, you know, like Harry Potter students, that Dumbledore and Grindelwald had like a big duel and
Oh,
in like
okay.
1945, and that's how like Dumbledore finally defeated Grindelwald.
Hmm.
And in the movies, like the last one literally takes place in like 1927, 1928, something like that.
Oh, so it's before their big duel.
It's before that, but I watched all 3 of them, and like I can so like you know they in the third one they were able to bring like a solid conclusion to a lot of characters, like you know you can end it right here if you want to, but there's so many things that's left open,
Right.
and Warner Bros scrapped it. There were supposed to be 5 movies, but they're like it wasn't received well by audiences, so we're not doing it anymore. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I don't think that the rest of the Deathly Hallows is going to explain like how that duel went down, and
No.
it just stinks so
No.
much. And they left it on the point too, where I was like, there's something specific that happens like in the end, like in like the last like big, like you know, like big, you could call it like the final battle or whatever. That's just
Right.
what I call like the last climax or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And something happens where it's like, oh, so now it's began.
Mm.
Like now, like you know, basically, I'm just gonna put it this way: there was a firewall put up
Okay.
to where like you know something that you want to happen can't, and then that firewall gets broken, and so it's like okay, so like now this can happen,
Oh,
and so
interesting.
now
Okay.
it's about to go down, and 5 minutes later, the movie ends, and that's the end.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's it annoys me so much. 'Cause I'm like, man, there's supposed to be 2 more movies. Like, I don't care if it wasn't received well by the audiences. I
Right.
loved it, and Warner Bros. Has plenty of money to waste it on 2 more movies.
Man, you know what? One of the things that kind of frustrates me a little bit is some of these incredibly critical fans.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, well, I understand. Listen, to an extent, I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
They made a movie about a book, and they didn't even stay true to the book.
Right.
Yeah, give them a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Please do. However, well, I wish they would have done this. I wish they would have done that. Hey, bro, guess what? You don't have that job. They do. And you know what they did to get that job? They earned it.
Yeah.
So maybe they know a little bit more than you. And also maybe they can't make a 6-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, you're going to have to cut things out.
That's the kind of grace I have to have when watching the Harry Potter movies. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
if they were
I can
to,
only imagine.
yeah, I mean these books are almost 1,000 pages. Like if they were to actually make a movie consisting of the entire
Oh, they would have
thing,
to split every book into
dude,
like
it would
2
be
to
like
3 movies.
it would be like a 12-hour movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And so like I do have grace for that, and I understand it. Now like I said, my frustration comes with the people who are like, "Wow," like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you want to see your favorite book be adapted into movies.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see
100%.
that, right?
Dude, if they made the Boxcar Children into a movie, I'd watch it.
Yo,
Yeah. That just unlocks some memories of
that
yours.
did.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, yeah, Boxcar Children, shout out. But like that'd be awesome. I'm all about it, Now if it's a okay, let's address the elephant in the room. The Halo series,
I watched like
Halo TV
10
series.
minutes of the first episode.
They're terrible. They are terrible movies. They're terrible. Master Chief should not be talking. Please stop.
Yeah, that was my first. I was like, what's going on? Just because
Yeah.
like I saw in one of the commercials he was talking. I was like, red flag number 1.
Yeah, and it's just they're not staying true to the games. So
See what I left over there?
what'd you leave?
Our waters.
Oh, nuts. We also left our Bibles too off camera.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pause in a second, but
Yeah, go for it.
But that I think that idea really it's not an idea, it's the expectation. I think there's a lot of unrealistic expectations when it comes to the movie adaptions of books. Now, lots of caveats. I'm not going to say it is across the board because I think some people just get it wrong. But I think there's a lot of the expectations are way too high. If you want people to understand the full story, have them read the book. If you want to give people a visual representation or a visual interpretation of what someone saw when they read the book, then go watch the movie. That's what they need to be. Visual interpretations of what someone saw when they watched the book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my frustrations with the Star Wars fans. Okay, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. OG. PlayStation. Okay? Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. Battlefront 1, played it, solid game. Battlefront 2, played it, loved it, favorite Battlefront game. It's phenomenal, but it wasn't well received. People doo-dooed on it. And people are still doo-dooing on the franchise. Now, do I think Disney's done a good job? No. The last 3 Star Wars movies, I think, have nothing to do with the first 3, the first 6. Other than
in terms of like the Skywalker
and
saga.
Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker and Palpatine. But it's no longer about Luke Skywalker or Palpatine. It's about Rey, and I think Rey is a miserable character.
Well, they also made a mistake of bringing Palpatine into the last movie. It's like, why? Like what annoys me about that, it's like, okay, so you are so uncreative that you can't come up with a new villain.
Yeah. And then also that Sith planet, let's make a movie about that.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Just there.
Why are they all just Why are they all just chanting? What's going on? Explain to me the dark side a little bit more. What are they doing? What is the point? How did all those ships get there? That's all great. Let's make a movie about the Sith, right?
I'm gonna sound like a total Anakin here,
Oh,
but
okay. Yes, sir.
it's funny because every single movie and every point of view that you come across, like I'm trying to think of through all the projects, and I can't really think of one where it's like you're seeing it where the protagonist is on the dark side.
Hmm.
And so everything is like, we need to preserve the light side and defeat the dark side. Therefore, with a lot of like, fan fiction and fan theories and just simply like the research that fans go into it with, is they're going in like they're trying to learn like what the dark side is about, and you get like the further that you dive into it, you'll see a lot more understanding and even support of the dark side through fans.
See, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the dark side is very interesting. In one, I don't remember who said this, but I remember I watched a portion of a podcast. I wish I knew so I could shout them out. Probably wouldn't shout them out. I think they talked pretty crass and were pretty. Their language is pretty crazy, but um, the guy was talking about balance in the Force. He goes,
Mm-hmm.
so if a Jedi dies, a Sith has to die. If the Jedi get strong, the dark the dark side has to get strong. And so it was talking about this balance idea and how there will never really be a day that the Jedi will win. It's
Right.
just not how it works. Because there's balance. You have to bring balance to the Force. That's what they talk about. Bring balance to the Force, which I think is very weird. Bring balance to the Force. Let's kill all the Sith.
That's never made sense to me.
Right. And so,
Honestly, it makes more sense where it's like bring balance to the Force. Okay, there's 2 Sith, and there's, we'll just say, 1,000 Jedi. It's like,
right. Well,
seems pretty unbiased.
listen, it has nothing to do with numbers.
Unbalanced, that's
It
what I
has
meant.
to do with power. So I don't know if you know this, but in the Sith, what they would do is because they had to keep their numbers small. So for you to become a master, you had to kill your master.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, making it to where your successor will always be stronger than you
Right.
until Palpatine. And I think Palpatine was like, I think he ex-nayed the rule or whatever.
Actually, it
But
was kind of Count Dooku
was
because
it really? Okay.
so Palpatine, like he originally it was Darth Maul, and then Darth Maul got sliced by Obi-Wan, and then he brought on Count Dooku, and at this point the rule, like, pretty much, this is why I'm looking forward to Acolyte coming out. You need to watch the trailer, dude. It's sick. It's a new project. Can't remember
Interesting.
if it's a show or a movie, but I think it's a movie.
Is it made by Disney?
It is, but I mean, it's Star Wars. Like, all new Star Wars stuff is made by Disney. But here's the thing: it's before the Rule of Two, so you have more than 2 Sith, and so everything that we know, unless if you like read the comics or just read the actual books, um, like everything we know of is the Rule of Two, where there can only be 2 on the dark side.
Right.
And Count Dooku, even though that his master was Palpatine, he kept on trying to train up people under him. That's where you get like Asajj Ventress. That's where you
Right.
get I forget like his full name, but like Savage, which was Maul's brother.
Oh,
And that's
yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah,
get all
yeah,
those
yeah. He was
characters.
yellow, right? He was
Yeah.
yellow and black.
And so he kept on trying to bring up his own apprentice so that both of them together could go and destroy Palpatine. Not only that, if you remember in Attack of the Clones, he tried to recruit Obi-Wan to be his.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. The one thing that I really want to see in a movie adaptation is Luke Skywalker becoming truly seeing how powerful he is. You don't see it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see him as a crotchety old man, you see him as a young boy or a youngish man, right?
The closest that we got was that one scene in The Mandalorian.
I didn't see The Mandalorian.
Well, then I'm gonna spoil this thing for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, there's a scene in The Mandalorian when the whole point of it is that the Mandalorian, he, like, he got Grogu, which if you call him Baby Yoda,
He's not.
I'm gonna force choke
He's
you.
not even Yoda's lineage, right?
No, no,
Okay,
he's
that's what
just,
I thought.
like, he's just of the same species.
Oh,
But
okay. All right.
that's all that it is. But he's got Grogu, and he's like trying to. He's trying to deliver him to, like, his people, like, specifically the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's at the end of season 2, Whenever he like he ends up like meeting up with like other like actual Mandalorians from like Mandalore, such as Bo-Katan,
Mm.
and they're on this ship, and basically he's like they just had like this big battle against like the villain in the show,
Okay.
and I forget what they called them. I think it was like Death Troopers or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I could be totally wrong because I've been reading about Death Eaters a lot lately. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I mean, like it was something like very sinister, and it was basically like these big like droids who
Hmm.
were extremely powerful, and like it was almost like stormtrooper droids, but like on crack.
Oh, wow.
And so there's literally like a whole squad of them, like because they like like activated, they closed the blast doors,
Mhm.
and like these two at the front are literally just boom, boom, like just trying to punch their way through the wall, and they're getting close.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Luke Skywalker just pulls up, and he just mauls every single one of, and like very tastefully too, where in a
Right.
way where it was like that, like that's a freaking Jedi.
Mm.
Like that, it's a real Jedi right
Yeah, but
there.
that's nothing compared to the lore behind how powerful he is.
No, it's
The dude
nothing.
literally
That's the point. That's
moved
all that we
black
got.
holes so the mother wouldn't escape a planet.
Yeah, dude, that's wild.
Yeah. Literally moving black holes, man.
People don't understand black holes. It's literally the reverse effect of a sun. So, like, just imagine someone just using the force and moving a sun.
Yeah.
That's what it's like to move a black hole. That's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And we haven't seen that in a film yet. And that's what upsets me. It's like, hey man, I would love to see some of that.
Yeah.
We concluded the Skywalker saga.
It's like, oh, great. Like, everybody else is going to suck.
No, we didn't.
No.
We saw him as a young man and we saw him as a crotchety old guy. There is nothing in between. And I'm like, no, dude, like he did some fantastic things. Crazy things, I might add. But just did some absolutely crazy things and I'm like, man, let's talk about these things. Let's make some movies or a TV series, the lore of Luke, right?
Dude, imagine a Luke Skywalker TV series.
It'd be crazy.
That'd be
It
so
would be
cool.
tough because everybody'd be like, "Oh, well, that's not the original Luke Skywalker." Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? Sorry. It's
Dude.
not how that works.
So there was some rumors going around because right now they're
I got to
doing.
take these things off my head. They itch.
Go for it. Do we want to pause?
No.
Okay. There was some.
Ah.
Yeah, I bet that didn't feel too good. Right now with Luke
Had to free my
Skywalker,
ears.
do you feel better?
A little bit.
Over
Oh.
time, it's gonna feel better.
I hope so.
They've been doing that like that digital Photoshop kind of thing where it's
Yeah.
like they have an actor, but they're like pasting Luke's face on it, like Mark Hamill's face.
Yeah, and it doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look bad, but there was some rumors after that little cameo that he had in that episode of The Mandalorian.
Mm.
There was some talks about like who's going to be the new Luke Skywalker actor because they're trying to bring him in some more, which by the way they have.
Oh, okay.
Not a whole bunch, but enough where it's like we could probably get an actor. And honestly, my number one pick as of right now.
Oh, you already have a pick. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't have even thought about it. Just because I'm not great with like actors' names and faces, be
I'm
like,
not
oh,
either.
this could be him or whatever. But and even whenever like I heard the name, I was like, that wouldn't really do good. Then somebody like made like a fan edit of like what he would look like as Luke. I was like, that's Luke Skywalker. What's his last name? Sebastian Shaw, I believe his name. The guy who played Bucky in the Avengers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I'm gonna I'm
find
gonna
that
look
for
it
me,
up real quick
please.
because I didn't
I
see
don't
it
see
either.
it because Luke Skywalker's a blonde. It's a blonde-headed man.
That's a simple issue.
Still, I just really the guy who played Bucky. Luke Skywalker had a baby.
His
face.
name's Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Shaw, I believe that was I think that was like the guy who wore the Darth Vader suit in the original trilogy.
Okay. Luke had a baby face though. That guy doesn't have a baby face. Mark Hamill had a baby face.
Dude, you're about to see it.
No.
Dude, that could
There's
be
no
him.
way.
It could be him.
There's no way. All right, I'm sold.
Yeah. See, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, there's no way. But then they did it. I'm like, yeah, that's totally possible.
No. All right, well then, come on, Disney. You got
Yeah,
all the
now
money in the
now it's
world
up to
now.
Disney to actually just do it because
Wow.
we all thought because spoil this again. His next appearance was in season 3 of The Mandalorian, and so I was over here thinking I was like, we're about to find out who the new actor is, and then they just did the digital Photoshop again.
Mhm.
I'm like, God, come on, like. You Disney already has him because he's in Marvel. So
That's true. It
there's
wouldn't be a big pull or a big push.
no, it wouldn't be because now they're doing a lot of crossovers with those actors.
Oh yeah, once you get him signed to Disney, you just kind of keep him there.
What's his name? Kumail Nanjiani. He was originally a stand-up comedian, but then he came in to do I forget the character's name, but he was in the Eternals. He was one of the Eternals.
I never saw Eternals.
Eternals was actually pretty good,
Really?
considering all the Phase 4 crap that was going on. Like Eternals was actually pretty good.
Man, after Endgame, just wasn't it.
I definitely understand.
They're taking it too far now. Endgame was the perfect conclusion.
Oh yeah, Endgame was great. Now
Now
don't
you
get me
got to
wrong.
get it like She-Hulk.
Okay,
Come on.
so
Come on.
me and one
Are
of
you
my
about to have an
buddies-
opposite opinion of me?
Not
Oh,
even close.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna say we will go buy lightsabers right now and duel outside if you say She-Hulk was good.
I
Okay.
have a buddy who, like, I grew up with him. We're real close, and almost every time that we talk, we rant about how bad She-Hulk is.
Yes, dude.
It was.
Attorney
It
at
was-
law. No, dude, you're a Hulk.
Did you even finish?
You're supposed
like,
to smash things.
Did you finish it?
No, I didn't even start it.
Please don't. Oh, okay, good. The ending is so much worse than the concept. It is so terrible, dude. Ah, okay. Listen to how terrible this is. So she goes through like this whole story or whatever, basically trying to train herself up to be the Hulk as well as acclimate to being a She-Hulk. Which, by the way, what's super like this is
You're
even
not
the
supposed to
ending.
have control of it
No, you're not.
because the lore of the
Now,
Hulk.
they messed that up in Endgame by making Bruce Banner
Oh yeah,
have.
they messed it up.
Yeah.
Because you know what the Hulk lore is, right?
Every
Every time
what do
that
you mean?
he turns into the Hulk, it's not him turning into the same Hulk. They messed it up.
Oh, it's like a
Comic
different
books,
Hulk.
It's a different Hulk every time.
Interesting.
It's a different Hulk from I forget the name of the planet they're from. Comes every time. Every time he turns into the Hulk, it's a different one each time.
That's pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know
And
that.
you're not ever supposed to be able to control it, at least from what I understand.
Right. Yeah, now they're just making it to where it's basically like split personality.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. And then
One of the-
She-Hulk doesn't even look intimidating. It doesn't even look like the Bruce Banner Hulk. Scary. If I saw that thing walking down the road, I'd be like,
dude,
I gotta roll.
the Incredible Hulk movie.
Best Hulk movie.
Oh yeah,
Best.
with Ed Norton. That was sick.
And then I see She-Hulk, and I'm like, I want to kick you.
So the entire attitude that she had throughout the whole time, like it's
Ditzy
infuriating.
and whimsical.
Oh, dude, honestly, no. She was like a pretty like rather like confident woman or whatever. Well, I say
Interesting.
confident. Like she was like put together decently,
Interesting. Okay.
but the attitude that she had the whole time was like, because she was She-Hulk and like pretty much always like that, or not. She wasn't always like that. She could control it and like go back
Yeah.
down to herself, but like she became famous, and so like now everybody was looking at her, and so she's like, everyone's just looking at me because I'm a woman. You don't even know how hard it is, and just all this kind of stuff. I was like, oh really? Did you hear?
Talk to my man Bruce Banner,
Exactly. It's like, did
who
you,
literally fell from the sky, landed in his storage area with no pants or clothes on.
dude? Bruce Banner went into exile. He went into
Literally
exile
went into exile.
because the world could like dude, she's over here trying to scream discrimination. You want to talk about discrimination? This man had to separate himself from the world. If Nick Fury had all the space technology that he does now,
Oh.
he would have been in space. Because he would have been like Earth, like Earth is not ready for him, and we saw that again in Captain America: Civil War. It's like part of that wasn't just the Scarlet Witch; it
Wow.
was the devastation of the Hulk.
Yeah. That's upsetting. Yeah. Hey, Disney, I want to give you some financial advice. Cut She-Hulk. Cut it out. Absolutely. Cut making Marvel movies. Move all of that budget over to Star Wars and make I would say a TV show. I think a TV show would be sick. A Luke Skywalker TV show.
But before you
And
do,
don't make it for kids. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
no, you're
Because
good.
I gotta preface some things here. Don't make it for kids. Not in the sense of don't make it rated R either. PG-13, PG-13. The rating doesn't matter. What I'm talking about is make it like
I mean, Anakin caught fire.
like you have to watch episode 1 to get episode 2 to get episode 3 to get episode 4. Like I'm talking about something like the only thing that's really coming to mind that I'm like make it blend is The Walking Dead. Like make me feel something. Make me go, "Oh." And Disney did this. So they did it to themselves. They said if it isn't in a movie, it's not canon anymore. When they
That's
bought the
so
Star Wars.
dumb.
And that is incredibly dumb because there's a lot of great lore that they literally they had free content essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Go read a book, go make a movie out of that book, you'll make a lot of money.
Yep.
It's really that simple. And so they basically shot themselves in the foot now. But it's really that simple. Go read a book about Luke Skywalker, read a bunch of them, and then put them all together to make a TV series. And then at the very end of the TV series, I think it would be sick is wrap it all up with a nice little bow of Rey approaching him on that island.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Because I remember they were supposed to expand Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show. They were supposed to do like a second part of it from where it ended on the Cartoon Network version, which, by the way, was superior. So good.
The best.
So good, dude. They were supposed to extend it, keep it going all the way up until Anakin and Obi-Wan got in their 2 different starships to go fight Count Dooku. Disney said they were going to do that. And you know what they haven't done? At least I don't think so. Please correct me.
No, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
You're lying.
I'm not like literally.
Oh, how many
Dude,
seasons is it?
I think there's 10 seasons.
10 seasons?
Yeah. No, dude. So literally, the last 4 episodes are each like an hour long, and it's
10 seasons or 10 episodes?
10 seasons of the show. No, it's like 10 seasons total of the show.
Oh, we're talking about from Cartoon Network all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so the last 4 episodes are each like an hour long, and it's actually pretty crazy because it's
How many okay, then how many seasons did Disney add?
I think that there was
I swear if they say they only added 2, I'm gonna be pissed.
no, it was
Basically
only
they're just piggybacking.
it was only like 1 or 2.
Golly, Disney piggybacking.
Dude, you gotta watch the end though. Dude, you have to watch because so
They
they
look deeply into each other's eyes and go, "Nothing will ever break us apart." Is that it? Did I guess it?
no.
Okay, good.
Oh no, dude, it's so like
Is it like, am I gonna like love it or am I gonna be like screaming at my TV?
you're gonna love it.
Okay, good.
You're absolutely gonna now. Okay,
Oh no, not the preface.
there is a part where you're gonna scream at your TV, but it's out of love. It's like, no, why? And
Interesting.
then I think that kicks off either the last 2 or the last season. And
I need to get my wife into Star Wars so I can rope her into our movie nights. Right now, I think we're rocking Tuesday TV night, where it used to be Monday movie nights. Tuesday TV night. I don't know. We were trying to do like Thursday theater night.
right.
But anyways,
Let me
I'm
just
gonna
put
try
it
to
this
get
way.
roped her into it. I'm gonna try to get her roped into it.
You will get to see Order 66 from someone else's point of view.
No way.
And it is
Someone else's.
once the order is
Oh,
given,
it's from Ahsoka's perspective. That was a wild guess too.
dude.
Dang, because she's
It's
still
so
gone.
sad.
She's still gone.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
Dude, it is so sad because you're watching it and everything's just kind of like chill and cool, and then like you look in the
No.
background, you're like, no, 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 and then yeah, and
No.
then like it just happens. You're like, no. Oh man, I'm getting chills, man. I haven't watched those in a while.
Dang, and I'm torn too because I wanted to. All right, everybody's gonna think I'm a weirdo. I love anime. That's not weird. I like romance animes.
That's weird.
That's weird. Now I'm not talking about like raunchy romance. I'm talking about like rom-com level, like she's out of my league level romance anime. And I was actually on the phone with one of my dear friends, P Baby, aka Parker, aka the chairman of the Diaper Boy Club, aka
Weirder.
the founder of the Yeet Beat Boys, aka Scoot Gang official number one.
Number one.
Number
Dang.
one, I know. But I was talking with him today, and me and him both would watch romance animes together when we were in college. That ain't gonna work.
I can type with it.
Were you kidding, really?
Yeah, so like
That's impressive, actually.
I could do that. I just have to press really hard.
Oh, okay. In college, on I think it was Wednesday nights, we'd both get off work because we both worked at the bookstore together. We'd go. Me and him lived together too, so we would go to the grocery store. We'd pick up rotisserie chickens. We'd come home. I would eat my whole rotisserie chicken. Typically, you'd only eat half. I was a monster, dude. And I'd get like a whole block of Tillamook cheese.
Oh yeah.
And then
Nice.
get the rotisserie chicken on top of the cheese, dip it in hot sauce. Okay? And munch. And we would watch either My Hero Academia or we would watch a romance anime. And we would sit there and scream at the TV. No, you need to love him, like just screaming. But that's how we were. We were talking about it today. Me and him wanted to rewatch Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a scene in Twilight when Jacob's in the scene, but when Edward and Bella are driving down the road and they're coming back from somewhere, and Jacob's just sitting in the road shirtless. And me and him, I remember when we first watched that scene, we had to pause it because we were freaking out. Just screaming and hooping and hollering and just being like, yeah, because we wanted Jacob to win.
Right.
Anyways, Edward, good job, buddy. I'm a big Robert Pattinson fan, though, so what up? Anyways, me and him would get really hyped about these things, so I miss that feeling, so I'm torn now. I want to go get caught up on all, like, the Disney Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not the movies, but some of the series that people say is good. But I'm also like, man, I'm torn.
I definitely recommend
Romance animes? Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Sorry, man. I don't have enough experience with that to recommend it.
If you're looking for one, I got a couple good recommendations.
I'm not. You'll have to force me into watching it.
Okay.
But
All right.
I definitely recommend Mandalorian. That is good.
First comment to say that Jake should watch a romance anime, we'll do it.
At least suggest a good one.
Oh, I have plenty of good ones.
We'll
start you off with a good middle of the road ones called Toradora. Middle of the road, pretty good. And then we'll move on to Your Name. That's a good one.
That's what it's called.
That's it. It's called Your Name. That's a good one. That was my introduction to romance anime. Your Name. Beautiful movie. And then we'll watch It's okay. It's all right. Well, there's a couple that I like.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
So you
sorry.
don't want that secret out there.
Love is War. That's a good one. That's actually the one I was gonna say, but I was gonna kind of keep it to myself because I love it. I don't want other people to know about it. 'Cause as soon as everyone starts knowing about things, things get corrupted. It's very unfortunate.
That is fair.
Um, anyways, we're gonna stop talking about romance animes now. I haven't watched one in such a long time. But anyways, you're saying I should start with a certain dude. This thing, I'm sweating.
Yeah,
How do women wear dresses and not sweat?
I'm glad that I didn't wear the robe.
Yeah. By the way, it freaked me out. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, "There's something staring at me."
Dude, that little plate fixture keeps
Yeah, it's
messing with
weird, isn't
me.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just for everyone in the audience who know, just so you guys know, we're recording this up at the church that we go to, Refuge Church in Conroe, Texas. What up?
Swing by.
At like 10 o'clock at night.
No, it is
So,
literally.
It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's 10:12 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a little bit weird.
We keep the door locked.
We definitely keep the door locked.
Y'all don't see it, but there's sometimes a pistol sitting under my seat, just in case.
There's been some sketchy nights, man. Well, so the way that our church is positioned, which I think is fantastic, but it does come with some security problems. Is there's some homeless people that walk up and down this road because we're in between kind of two gas stations, and so we see a lot of homeless people walk up and down the road, and I don't think any of the homeless people are gonna just start coming and like trying to beat us up, but I do know for a fact that, when you're under the influence of drugs, you'll do, and if you're really itching to get high, you'll do whatever you need to do to get high. And so that's where we become a little bit weary. We haven't had a problem. Praise the
No,
Lord.
it's been totally fine.
We've been totally fine, but we just want to be careful. But just giving people context.
Stay strapped.
Context matters, man. I'm a firm believer that context matters.
Imagine if the Star Wars world had lightsaber control.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jedi Council.
What do you mean?
They're controlling.
No, I mean like gun control.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jedi Council.
They control it? What do you mean?
No, like they're just a force that like wants to control things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Jedi Council.
Oh, I'm not
Honestly, I
either.
see Jedi Council like I see what do they call them in the Baptist church? Committee. I see the Jedi
Okay.
Council like a Baptist church sees a committee. I don't like them.
That's fair.
Sorry.
I'm not a fan of the Jedi Council either.
No.
At least
No.
not the Jedi Council that we saw. You go further back, like
Oh, yeah, Old Republic stuff.
yeah.
Which they actually have a MMO, a Star Wars The Old Republic. It's SWOTOR. That's the acronym.
Yeah, my coworker, he's been trying to get me on that, and like I want to do it, but it's a strange thing. Like you got to subscribe to it.
You do. You have to subscribe, and it's a pretty complicated game.
Yeah.
It's World of Warcraft except Star Wars. Pretty much. That's kind of from what I understand the layout of the game.
I'm pretty interested in playing it. Like
You
I
should.
want to. It's just
You got a gaming PC now. You should.
I'm gonna play all these other games first, like Days Gone and whatnot.
We'll check in 5 years.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
At least you admitted it. Check in 5 years from now and be like, "Hey, buddy, have you finished any of the games yet?" So I haven't bought you any games yet.
Yeah, I told you all exactly how this goes. Like I'll play for like a month or two straight, and then I won't touch it again for like 6 months. And what did I do? I played for like 2 months straight. You say it's all talk. It's all truth. I told y'all exactly what was gonna happen. Watch, I'm on a big reading kick right now. As soon as I'm done with this book, watch me fall. I won't be picking up a book until this time next year.
I've been reading the same book for a year.
The Bible.
No. Well, that too.
Yeah.
Recreational. I'm talking about recreational book usage.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty cool. It's called Realm Breakers, actually. It's a pretty neat concept. I'm using a lot of the concepts in it for our D&D campaign.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really sick, actually. As soon
need
as
to
we
finish that
get back to...
quest.
Oh, dude, that's not a quest. That's a campaign.
No, well, I'm talking about what the four of us started.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, that's the start of a campaign, not a
Oh,
quest.
is it? Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh, yeah, dude. You think that's like, oh, we're just going to save the children and we're going to be done? Come on now. Oh, you've never played a D&D campaign with me, have you?
that one day was the only time I've ever played D&D.
Okay. All right. Well, then you don't know. Ralph and even Ralph and Sean don't know that much either. So we did a D&D campaign with the students, and dude, I took out all the stops, man. And I'm really proud of that campaign.
Mhm.
And I'm proud of it not just because I did a good job, but because the students that I played with did such a good job too. And I didn't just have a story. I kind of just presented them with things, and I allowed them to kind of pick their own story. And dude, at the very end, I'm so proud of this ending. At the very end, two of the players in the campaign. So there's the Son of Light, and then
Okay.
there's the Dark One. Okay, the Dark One is this guy who took a potion that basically would allow him to live forever. But because he was allowed to live forever, he literally watched his daughter die.
Makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it all started. There's a king. His name was Black Haxorus, which is one of my players. His kingdom fell after he was murdered by a werewolf called the Wolf Mother. Okay, and basically he had this mage enchant his bones so that when he dies, he will come back to life as a skeleton. That's where we pick him up in the story. Well,
is his soul still there?
his soul's still there.
Okay.
So the mage that did that was also on a quest to make a potion of eternal life. Well, the mage is the one who took it. And so after Black Haxorus died, before he came back as a skeleton, the whole kingdom fell apart. And he watched his daughter get publicly executed. So he basically was like, I am now going to destroy everything and build up my empire so that will never happen again. Well, then in our campaign was my brother, actually. He was the Son of Light. And so the prophecy said the Son of Light's going to fight the Dark One. And the whole campaign is them kind of trailing the Dark One and the Dark One trailing them, and it's this really cool situation all the way up to the end where the Dark One and the Son of Light battle. But at the very end of it all, and there's like tons of little story plots in there that added up to
Right.
this. We had two students. It was Jake and Levi. They both were like, we're going to side with the Dark One. And so last session of the first campaign we did, they pulled me aside. Or actually, 2 sessions. The second to last session, they pulled me aside like, we're going to betray, just so you are aware. Can we, during the week before our next session, can we role play us doing that? So yeah, sure. They roll up with the Dark One, and this massive battle happens. The Dark One and the Son of Light battling each other, and when they were battling each other, they finally like struck blows and basically shot out this massive force of energy, and everything just faded to black. And I said, and that's the end of the campaign. So nobody knew who won.
I can only imagine the screams
they were
that were
pissed.
happening.
They were so pissed
I would be
off.
so mad.
They were very mad at me.
I'm a little irritated because I've been like so captivated, like I'm watching the movie right now, and now it's like, really? That's it?
So if you would like, I can explain it. I love world building.
Yeah.
So second campaign we did, it fell apart. Very unfortunate that it fell apart. It was just it became a lot of work, and not everybody was showing up, and more people in the youth group heard about the campaign, so more people wanted to play, and the more people that
but weren't
came,
committed.
it just became so hard.
Yeah.
Honestly, that campaign will live in infamy. Just how great it was. But the second campaign, they were like, "Where's our characters, Lance?" Basically, that when that happened, they split so it was just one solid landmass. It split. So there's 2 different land masses now. And so everything's different. And then they're like, during the second campaign, they went around and tried to find their old characters, and a couple of them survived.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them survived, became a pirate, and died. I had one student right before the final boss battle. He found this bird, like this bird-like creature, and found a boat, like hijacked a boat and was like, peace. And he gathered up a bunch of these other birds too and left. And like his character didn't ever end it wasn't in the last battle. So there's lore out there that him and his little band of bird humanoid creatures are still floating around the waters to this day, which as a DM. They are, and I can't wait for someone to find him.
Mm-hmm.
It's Michelangelo's character. So he played it like beautifully. But they went around and they found their characters, or they found a couple. One became a pirate and destroyed everyone. One became an archaeologist that went around and tried to gather up the super powerful like trinkets and stuff like that, like imbued magical stuff. And then all the other ones are actually just frozen back at the place where it was like impact. So it's really cool. I love DMing. I love it. I wish I had more time. I even thought about at one point because we redid the D&D system because we obviously were with a church and some people get a little bit weird about having multiple gods and multiple different devils and stuff. And so
Some people don't understand a game's a game.
some people don't. And so just to mitigate the amount of conversation and the amount of explanation I was going to have to do, I just did, all right, there is a single God. His name is the Creator, and he is very close to God in the Bible. And then there is the Dark One, who is very close to the devil. And everyone beneath the Creator is an angel. Right? And then there's humans, right? But there's just tons of angels, and each angel has like an area of expertise. And the same thing with demons. All have an area of expertise, and that's how it rolls. Instead of having multiple gods, that which one's powerful? Nope. Creator, he's the most powerful. The Dark One, he's not powerful, but wants to distract and kills, maim, and destroy. But anyways, I love it. I thought about creating like my own D&D set that I could like give to people in churches, you know what I mean? And be like, yo, this is actually like church approved.
Right.
I thought about doing that. I don't know. Maybe I will. Sorry. I can ramble on for days about Dungeons and Dragons. Love Dungeons and Dragons. So much fun.
You're good, man.
It's so much fun. I know I probably
fun
just
getting to
bored
hear about it.
everybody. It's so much fun. But that's like when I watch the Harry Potter movies, I got some stuff from Harry Potter. There's some stuff from Star Wars that I pulled in, some themes and stuff, but it's cool. I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Speaking of inspiration from Star Wars, I am thinking about cracking open that Dune book whenever I'm finished with the series.
Dude, I've been thinking I gotta finish. I made a bet with my wife that I'd actually finish this book and finish the series by the end of the year. I'm not gonna be able to.
How many books are in it? What is it?
3. Realm Breakers. There's 3 of them.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It's a smaller book.
Mm.
It's very D&D-esque. I think it's a lot of fun to read. But I've been wanting to read Dune 2 with all this like Dune 2 stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I want to read it for sure.
So is Dune 2 like Dune the second book?
Dune Part 2.
But it's still the first book? Because they have like 6 books.
Holy smokes.
I think I've heard people say that there's more, but like, so in my copy of Dune, like you open like the back and like it has a picture of like 6 different covers on it. Like all of them are different books. Now, my coworker, who's like, he's very savvy on pretty much everything that we've talked about today.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. We have some interesting conversations. It's fun. Like
right.
whenever we don't like truly have to like focus on work and we can kind of just like just kind of talk about whatever. We have some real interesting conversations.
All right.
Because he's also a big Star Wars dude. He's got like a full Star Wars sleeve.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
just finished it like 2 weeks ago.
That's pretty cool.
But he told me, because I told him, I was like, yeah, I got the first copy of Dune. Like, it was just a lot for me. So, like, I kind of stopped, like, like a quarter of the way through. But I want to read it again. And then we were talking, just because the movie came out. And so we were talking about, all this. And he told me, he's like, honestly, after the first book, it goes downhill.
Does it really?
Yeah. He's like, it just kind of gets wild and all over the place. Like,
I heard it's pretty intricate.
Dude, it's very intricate. If I remember correctly, actually, in the back of the book, there is a glossary of a bunch of like vocabulary, which makes sense because, I mean, I'm already like super dyslexic, and that's what. And then you get into a bunch of words that like just don't make they don't make any sense. Now, thankfully, they're italicized, but like in Harry Potter, for instance, like all of those, there's usually like a few terms, like Horcrux, like you got to know what that means.
Explain it, or they talk about it a little bit, and finally you get to a point where they explain it.
Right, but they do a pretty good job at like kind of putting it like right in front of your face. or like it'll be something like I swear I think all the spells are just in Latin. I'm I'm pretty sure that they are, but like you see like a spell and it's no, I'm studying Latin, so it's like I can see that pretty quick. It's like, oh, okay, that's a spell right there. But they also
Right.
make it within the dialogue. It's like, okay, someone just cast a spell. They'll say like Expelliarmus, and then all of a sudden it's like, and his wand flew up in the air and Ron caught it. It's like, okay, he just cast a spell.
Right.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
no,
Dune.
Dune
That's a lot. Well,
is
yeah, I heard
is
it's a lot of vocab. It's a lot of.
I'd attribute it to being like Lord of the Rings. I've never read Lord of the Rings, but I've heard a lot about it. And like in the books, it's the same way. It's like they got their own language and everything like that. Which, by the way, I have through my Duolingo account, I have the ability to learn one of.
No
I
way.
only know. I only remember two off the top of my head, but I think there's three basically like fantasy languages.
Right.
So I can learn Klingon from Star Trek. Literally. And I could also learn a High Valkyrian from Game of Thrones. And I've thought about learning one of those. Interestingly enough, I've never seen either. Like I've seen a couple Star Trek
I haven't
movies.
seen Game of Thrones.
I
Actually, I watched. Me and my wife sat down to watch episode 1
mhm.
because my wife was like, I heard like the series that came after Game of Thrones. It was like
Was it like House of Dragon? I
House
think.
of Dragons. My
Yeah.
wife's like, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about it, and like I'm interested in that, so I wanted to watch Game of Thrones. It's like okay, and I told her I was like, I don't want to watch Game of Thrones. I know how sexual it is
Yeah.
for zero reason. She goes, okay, well let's watch episode 1, and we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, kid you not. A majority of episode 1, my face was shoved in the couch. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to watch this. And she goes, yeah, we're not watching this.
Yeah, it's annoying. I got a buddy who I used to work on a job site with. It's actually the dude who I'm watching the Last Airbender with.
Oh, yeah.
And he like pretty much ever since I've known him, he's tried to get me to watch Game of Thrones because he loves the show, and I get it. Like everybody that I know that has sat down and watched it all the way through, they're like, it's a phenomenal show. And, like I believe you, but there's just too much of that, and
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't need all those images living in my head, to be honest.
it's dumb. Like it's dumb. Like honestly, and this is like from like a worldly perspective. You want to have like so basically they're just like they're normalizing sex throughout the show by having it through like the majority of the episodes, whereas if you want to have like a love interest, like have like a background love story, and then like you want to have like a tasteful scene at some point where it's like okay, like they finally got together, like listen, I can handle that a lot better than if you're just gonna, because like for instance I was with him on the job site one day, and he was like, dude, like it's just so cool. Like even the graphics are so good, and he's like, this is one of my favorite scenes, and I don't know, it was like some transformative scene where like this girl basically just like she like learned her power or something like that, and like controlled a dragon or something like that. And first of all, it was a super boring scene. All she did was walk with a dragon behind her. But guess what? She had no
A
clothes on,
Oh, my
and I'm just like,
days.
why? Why? What's the point of that? It's it's dumb. Because here's my thoughts on it. Here's my thoughts on it.
Dragons
I was
only
like,
listen to me when I'm naked.
uh,
Then you know what? Maybe dragons aren't for you.
well, in my head, I was thinking
Maybe
if that was a
that's
guy instead of a girl, guess what he would have on? A shirt. I'm willing to bet that he would have a shirt on. Why? Because there'd be no point for him to be shirtless.
right.
It's just annoying.
Sex sells. It's very unfortunate that it does.
That's one thing because like I'm rewatching The Witcher, which The Witcher is a phenomenal show, but there is a lot of nudity.
Do not play that video game,
Okay.
dude. My in ears are all tangled up.
I feel like I'm sitting on something, but
Oh, my
I'm not.
days.
It's just these pants, dude. But there's a lot of nudity in The Witcher, and that
Anyway, that's
that gets
accurate
old.
to the game.
Is it? At
Oh
least it's
yeah, dude.
accurate.
I remember. Yeah, I remember having to go like this on my computer monitor to the point where I'm like, the story's great, gameplay felt great, but there's no. I even Googled it. I was like, is there a way to skip the nudity, or to say no nudity? And there was none.
No, some things are just put in there.
And that sucks.
Yeah, like
So upsetting to me.
yeah. Even in like The Last of Us, there's like a couple like sex scenes or whatever, but Like they all got clothes on. Like it's totally normal. Or like, at least like, a girl would have like a bra on. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Appreciate you having clothes on. Yeah.
I'm saying
See,
this from the perspective of like I understand that there's really not much that I could do about the fact that they're gonna just be including sex scenes and everything. Um, and so it's like, okay, well, let's at least mitigate how that comes about. And yeah, it gets old.
I'm okay with the fade to black. Insinuate they're having sex. Whatever. I get it.
Even Top Gun, I felt like it was a little much, just because it was over dramatized. Have you seen Top Gun? There's like a scene.
Top Gun Maverick?
No, Top Gun.
I haven't seen it in a while.
There's a scene in there whenever like he and the girl like they finally get together, and really all you could see is their silhouette. Like they like did the lights in such a way that like it literally was just it was their silhouette, but like they like you never even like really saw them having sex. Like they were like on top of each other, but they were just, dude. It's some of the weirdest kissing you've ever seen.
Well,
I'm
it's
telling
Tom
you,
Cruise.
dude. I'm telling you,
That's how they teach. That's how they teach you
they're
to
like
kiss in Scientology.
dude, they're like licking each other's noses. Like I'm telling you, because like I remember whenever I first watched it, I was like 10 years
That's
old.
gross.
I was like 10 years old, and my folks were on the couch with me. I was just like, I'm not watching this. But then as I've gotten older, that was my favorite movie for the longest time. So I'd watch it, and as I got older, I was like
They be
watching, and I
kissing
was
each
like,
other in Scientology.
I was like, what are they doing?
It's the Scientology kiss.
I guess. Oh man, it was weird, but oh, great movie.
Very weird.
But that's it. That's all that there is. Just like, you know what? At least that's it. You make it
That's
past
true.
that scene, you're good to
good.
go. It's back to fighter jets.
Right back to fighter jet.
Yeah. I think actually the very next scene, it's like, all right, back in a fighter jet.
Yeah. I think so. I don't remember seeing that though, but I honestly haven't seen Top Gun in a minute. I haven't seen it in a minute. Well, I think that's a good place to end off talking about Scientology kissing, and then
I feel like we could probably talk about a little, maybe something other than sex to end off.
I think
real
it's
quick.
a good way to. You want to? Okay, we can talk about something else. Let's talk. No. Okay.
Oh, actually, okay. So I have a question from earlier in the episode. You good?
Yeah, I was about to. Sorry, I was about to make a joke. I'm gonna hold it though.
I've been known to push you a little too far
Don't
into saying
push me.
things. If you want to say it, go for it.
I'm not. Ask me your question.
So I meant to ask you this earlier. Whenever you said that Attack of the Clones is your second favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about what mine is, and I'm curious just because you haven't seen many of the Disney projects. Have you seen Rogue One? It was,
Oh, that happened between episode 3 and 4, correct?
and honestly, it leads up to honestly, there's got to be no more than an hour left until episode 4 starts. It's like right there.
I did see Rogue One. I thought
Yeah.
it was. I thought Rogue One was fantastic.
Dude,
My
Rogue One was
favorite scene.
amazing.
I actually cried during the scene. I am with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am with the Force, and the Force
Oh,
is with
yeah.
me. When he's walking across, I'm
blind
like,
dude.
oh my gosh,
Yes.
okay. Because I got translated. It's like the Bible. It's like, dang, like this dude's out here walking in faith right now, like
Straight up.
like straight up, like I don't like. I'm sacrificing myself for the common good, right? I am sacrificing so that my friends may live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just blindly. I don't know. You are blindly sacrificing. That's what he's doing. But I'm not just like his like. I don't know, man. There's just something about
didn't-
his sacrifice. Like if another person sacrificed and saw what was going on, like it was like, oh, okay, cool. You just ran fast.
Right.
This dude, it was like. Sorry, I thought I heard someone pulling in the parking lot.
I don't see any lights.
My thing is, out of everyone who should have been sacrificing, it shouldn't have been him, but yet he still did it.
And that's why that was the best sacrifice. Because
Yeah,
it was,
dude.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then when he died, I was like, oh.
dude, it blows
Sad
my
day.
mind because it's like Rogue One was so good.
Oh, it was so
and
good.
the rest of the Disney stuff, minus the Mandalorian, is so bad. Honestly, Ahsoka wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed Ahsoka a lot.
Really?
of course, much like the rest of the Disney Star Wars shows, it's a little slow. It's why Andor's super slow. I haven't even watched that, but
Hmm.
it's a little slow, but it's very interesting. And now there's a little cameo in there, and
Oh,
like
okay.
a thick cameo.
Oh, I know. It's Vader.
Sure. Um, yeah, we can say that.
But it's before. Okay.
No, it's still like in that like same time period that like everything else is going on. So it's like between the original trilogy and the god awful sequels. The only movie that's kind of worth watching is The Force Awakens. Like of those three, like
That's the first one, right?
yeah, the first
That's
one.
episode 7.
And then they got like literally 8 sucked and 9 was makes me want to cuss so bad.
9 had some cool visuals. I'll give him that.
There's cool visuals,
The
but
planet that had all that red like dirt or like red crystal, like that visually, the top being white and the red under. I think that's the last
oh,
one.
that's episode 8. That's the Last
That's
Jedi.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, then 8. I loved the visuals on 8.
That was cool.
The visuals, Disney slammed
I would say
with
the
the
story
visuals. With
for
the
after.
story, no. They slammed with the visuals.
And the lightsaber duels were terrible. There's no choreography in it, so that's okay.
They
I will-
didn't They didn't do any choreography with it.
Well, so I will die on this hill.
Okay.
One thing that made the prequels so good was the fact that there wasn't so much. Just because I mean, like in the sequels, like all their lightsabers was like, whereas like in the prequels, it's like okay, these guys trained for months to get all this
yeah, I
right.
remember seeing behind the scenes stuff, and like Hayden Christensen was like showing off bruises
Yeah.
from him and
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Them like dueling each other. And like I remember seeing like them like doing the choreography for it and like running through it. And dude, these guys weren't just like fake hitting, like they were like like you
Yeah.
heard the plastic snapping against
They were full
each
on
other.
going for it, and they made it so real. Like they brought it to life because
They did.
I mean, so in the original
Man,
trilogy,
I think people doo-dooed on Hayden Christensen for playing Anakin. I thought, dude,
he was
did
phenomenal.
a phenomenal job.
He brought Anakin to life.
Yes, dude.
Honestly, I can't think of a better portrayal, and that kind of brings me up to like one of my original points that we talked about at the beginning is that like the character's just misunderstood. That's why he got so much crap on him. But also,
that's how Disney. That's not Disney. Sorry, that's how Star Wars stuff was.
Mhm.
Battlefront 1 and 2 when they first came out, they tanked, so they never made any more.
right.
But now everyone looks back and they love them. SWOTOR came out pretty cool, kind of tanked, and now people look back at it now and they're like, okay, and they're still making content for it.
So I actually saw a comment on a video on like TikTok or something that put this into perfect perspective because there was some sort of I guess like Star Wars con kind of thing going on, and honestly like I still love to go back and watch this video. Hayden Christensen walked out because he was the special guest of the
Right.
evening, and dude like it was like Dave Chappelle just walked in the room like the whole
Yeah, they all erupted.
dude it was whoa.
He's finally getting the praise he deserves.
Exactly.
For his role.
And like it literally brought him to tears almost. Like he held it back, but like you could see it in his face. He's like where did this come from? And somebody
Right.
in the comments made it perfectly like put it perfectly. They're like the people who truly appreciated him for his role have finally grown up and are old enough to give him the appreciation he deserves.
That's a good way of putting it.
Whereas like everybody who was like our age our age now whenever those movies came out, they grew up on the original trilogy, and so they weren't expecting like a moody like kid kind of character. Whereas like us, we were like, not only is this somewhat relatable, but like this is really cool.
This is it. Yeah.
Like this is it. And then now of course people are growing. See, it's really funny because I think about it. I'm like, whether you hated the prequels, whether you love them, we all can unite and say the sequels suck.
We can.
Yeah.
Let's stand together.
Yes.
Disney, the sequels sucked.
Terrible.
They were terrible. I watched them all in movie
There
theaters.
are There
They
are
were
6 Skywalker movies in my eyes.
terrible.
There's 6 Skywalker
Yes.
movies.
And then there's one, and then I can't. She's a Palpatine. She's not a Skywalker. Why'd you make the movies about her?
Rey. Dot 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 dot. Skywalker. Like no, no,
No,
no.
you're a Palpatine.
Yeah, embrace it.
Yeah,
Just embrace it.
let's be honest.
Why don't you-
Palpatine was powerful,
He was very
so
powerful.
embrace it. You're not a Skywalker.
Instead of, dude, honestly, I think that it's way more respectable if you take the name that has been tanked for all of history and you turn it, like you just completely turn it around to where, like, no, like now this doesn't mean evil. Now this means good.
Absolutely.
It's like that's way better. That's way
Instead
better.
of, I'm abandoning it. I'm not a Palpatine.
I think it's so funny. It's like
You're not a Skywalker.
No.
Let's look at not what you look like. I don't think that has anything to do with it, but let's look at the way you act and let's walk down the line of all the Skywalkers. Anakin. Great with his hands, right? Can fix things, like to tinker, like to do all that kind of stuff. Luke followed in his dad's steps, tinkered, right? On the moisture farm. Okay? Rey, what does she do?
She scavenges and sells for expanding biscuits.
Cool. Where'd she come from? A Palpatine.
Yeah.
Answered. So that's my problem.
Yep.
You're not a Skywalker. I'm sorry. So you're not the conclusion of a Skywalker saga. You are a background character in the Skywalker saga. Grab, like, I don't understand. What made them choose that time period? They would have been better off with casting someone else for Luke and showing off how powerful he was and how he finally passed away.
Well, that's what I love is like whenever Mark Hamill, like I'm sure if you're still sticking around now, you probably are a Star Wars fan enough to have seen the interviews with Mark Hamill whenever after these movies were made, and he's like, it was ridiculous. Luke wouldn't die from being tired. He wouldn't have just given up after making one mistake with a student, and like.
No.
Because, like, the whole thing was, like, he made a mistake with
Now,
the student
Kylo
and his
Ren
school
is-
was destroyed.
Kylo
But
Ren's
he would have
pretty
started
cool.
over.
He would have. Kylo Ren was a pretty cool character.
Kylo Ren was cool.
I thought they casted him very well. I thought Adam Driver is a phenomenal actor. I think
Yeah.
he did. I think he played Kylo Ren very, very well. I think him playing Kylo Ren. I think he took a couple pages out of Hayden Christensen's book and made him a little bit more moody.
He did.
Now
They did.
Kylo Ren is a little bit more verbose. So, good, awesome. We don't need you to be Hayden Christensen. We need you to be you, and you did it. However, I don't know what is up with Rey.
Well, I got some logistical problems with her. First is, like, whenever I see her in, I think it's either 8 or 9, she has like a similar thing that happened like with Luke in Empire, where she trained for a short amount of time and then she basically like had a calling and had to leave. But what happened to Luke is that he had a calling and had to leave early, and he lost his hand. He lost. Han
Yeah, and
Solo
she
got
never
frozen
lost.
in carbonite. Yeah, no, and she didn't lose. Also, it takes some Sith a lifetime to learn how to do Force lightning, and she does it by accident. Like it's not a bloodline thing. Force lightning is not through genes. Like, yeah, I'm sure that some things may be a little bit easier to attain in your
Well,
genes.
it's her midichlorian level. That would attribute to her
Dude,
being able to
probably
pick it up.
nothing compared to Anakin's.
Oh no, he was the chosen.
He's
one.
yeah.
He was the chosen one.
Okay, then I'll put it this way: nothing close to Obi-Wan's.
No.
No, I'm trying to think of somebody like
Mace Windu, favorite character by the way.
Mace
Windu
was
Mace
pretty
Windu's a top
sick.
tier. Top tier. Purple
Yeah.
lightsaber, man. I wanted a purple lightsaber. Purple or green.
That's what I want.
Honestly, dopest. The dopest. Luke Skywalker, all black fit, green lightsaber. That was the dope.
That's pretty sick.
When I saw that, I was like, I want to be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I want to have a green lightsaber and be dressed out in all black robes. That looks sick.
there's been some iterations where you see Anakin. He's dressed up kind of like in this Clone Wars fit, except that there's more armor on him.
Oh, I like that too. That's pretty sick.
Even Obi-Wan in his Clone Wars like armor fit. That
Yeah.
looks pretty sick too.
Yeah, I agree. Man, there's just so many things that it's like, come on. And I get it.
So many things that whenever we come back next year to talk about all this, there's going to be way more for us to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but May the 4th, it's like Christmas to me. Like, I'm probably gonna. What day is May the 4th this year? I think it's a Saturday. If so, I ain't doing anything. But if it's
I
a
think
weekday,
so.
I'm probably taking off of work.
Do it. Do it. Take off work.
They're like, why aren't you going to work? Like,
It's May the
Star
4th.
Wars
It's a
Day.
national
What are you
holiday.
talking about?
Yeah. Come on, man. It's a national holiday.
It is a Saturday. Yeah, because this comes out Monday the 6th. Today's Monday the 6th. So 2 days ago, Saturday.
All right.
All right.
Are we done?
I think that's a good place.
All right, we're going to talk about naked people.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Anakin got pretty naked whenever Obi-Wan burned him.
Well,
That's one thing that I wonder about too. Is like, why didn't all of his clothes burn away? It like a lot of it singed into his skin,
that's true.
which I guess could be possible. Like, I don't know, like what all this
I think
is
that's
made out of.
possible.
I just naturally assume cotton, which is super flammable.
No, there's some leathers.
Yeah, it makes sense.
There's some leathers, and we also
Dang.
they don't really go into that. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to Not a Safe Place podcast. Listen, if you enjoyed it, even if you hated it, let us know in the comments, all right? Hit the like button, hit the dislike button. On Spotify, if we deserved 5 stars, man, give us the 5 stars. If we deserved 1 star, give us the 1 star. Listen, we actually really want to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
We really want to hear from y'all. So if y'all could give us the wonderful pleasure of emailing nasp.podcasts@gmail.com, that would be awesome. We want to hear from you. Even if you're like, Lance, y'all are idiots. We want to hear that too. Send us an email. We're ready for it. We want the smoke. Okay.
You'll hear us refer in some episodes to the earlier ones to send to a particular other email address that we will not say right now. Disregard that.
Disregard.
And go to, what is it?
nasp.podcasts@gmail.com. Unfortunately, the previous email that we were using to have all of our accounts on got hacked, and I guess they were doing some fraudulent activity to the point where I had to go and appeal to Google, and they said, no, your account's just going to be deleted. So,
I don't think that we had sent or received a single email on it other than like an account confirmation.
Yeah, that's all it was. We never received an email on that account.
This email was like, what, a month old and with zero activity, and it already got hacked.
Yeah. So exactly. It was hacked super early. So if you heard on an earlier podcast us say another email address, disregard. If you sent one to that address, you were probably emailing a scammer in Russia.
Now, if that scammer can answer your questions, then wonderful.
Awesome. If they gave you a terrible answer, we're not responsible.
Yeah.
We wash our hands of that. That was not us. Huh?
I said just like Pilot.
Hey, I'm gonna go wash my hands, son. But anyways, if we deserved the 5 stars, give us the 5 stars. If we don't deserve the 5 stars, give us a 1 star. If we deserved a like, give us a like. If we deserved a dislike, man, give us a dislike. Write down in the comments, all that kind of stuff. We want to connect with you. We want to hear what you have to say. And we're just excited that we get to make content and you guys get to watch it and be a part of it all. It's really cool. It's definitely a really cool process. Anyways, we love you guys. We love you guys so much. The best way, just real quick, the best way for you to support the podcast is simply sharing our content. That's it.
That's all.
That is the best way, right? If you want to financially support, send us an email. We'll send you all the ways that you can financially support Absolutely. But the best and the biggest support that anyone could ever give us is simply sharing and reposting our stuff on socials. We have a link tree that's going to be down in our description. If you would hit the link tree, you'll be able to see all of our social media platforms, everything that we're posting on, and we post regularly too. So listen, if you would just do that, that'd be fantastic. We love you guys so much, and we can't wait to get your emails, see your comments, and all that kind of stuff. We love you guys. We'll see you next episode.
Peace.